Zalara stood at the edge of the temple tower, wind brushing against her blue skin. Below her, the capital city of Varnaxa burned bright with golden lights. It was a peaceful night. But inside her heart, there was a storm. She was the daughter of Priestess Marvella, leader of the Order of the Flame. All her life, Zalara was told one thing: humans are monsters. They were dangerous, greedy, and weak. And now Zalara was training to become a warrior who could destroy them. Today was special. She had passed the strength test. She had passed the loyalty test. Only one final test remained, the test of the forbidden face. Zalara stepped into the dark chamber. The door closed behind her with a hiss. In the center of the room was a glowing orb. Her mother stood beside it wearing a silver crown. "Zalara," her mother said, "this is your final trial. You will look into the memory pool and see a human. If your heart remains cold, you will become a full warrior." Zalara nodded. Her face was calm, but inside she was nervous. The orb flickered. A picture formed. A human man, tall, dusty, covered in blood, ran through a battlefield. Alien children cried out from behind a rock. Zalara held her breath. The man stopped. He turned toward the cries. Blaster fire rained down around him, but instead of escaping, he ran toward the children. Zalara watched as he picked up the small, alien girl and shielded her with his body. A moment later, an explosion hit nearby. His arm caught fire. He screamed, but he did not let go of the child. The memory ended. Zalara blinked. Her chest felt heavy. The room was silent. Her mother narrowed her eyes. "What do you feel, child?" Zalara opened her mouth. She tried to say nothing, like a true warrior should, but her voice shook. "He saved her," Zalara whispered. Loud crack echoed through the room. Her mother's hand slapped her across the face. "You hesitate," Marvella roared. "You feel for the beast." Zalara stepped back, holding her cheek. "But why, Mother? If humans are evil, why did he save that girl? He was in pain. He didn't run." Her mother's voice dropped to a cold whisper. "Because humans trick us with false kindness. They are poison. You saw one human act. But what about the millions who kill, who lie?" Zalara said nothing. Her mother turned away. "You are not ready, but you will learn. You will go to the human embassy. As a servant, you will watch the human ambassador, Eli Carter. Learn his habits, and when I say the word, you will kill him." Zalara's eyes widened. "Kill him? You must prove your loyalty. If you don't," she leaned close, "you will burn with the rest of the week." That night, Zalara sat alone in her chamber. The stars outside blinked like sad eyes. She touched her cheek where the slap still stung. In her hand was a small image cube. She turned it on. The human's face appeared again, bloodied but calm, as he smiled down at the alien girl he had saved. Zalara stared at the image. Her hand trembled. She did not know this man, but something about his eyes. They were not cruel, not evil, not like the stories. "I don't understand," she whispered, and for the first time in her life, Zalara doubted the truth she had been told. Next day, Zalara boarded a transport ship headed to the human sector. Her heart beat fast as the city of Varnaxa faded behind her. She was dressed as a low-class assistant. Her sword was hidden beneath her robes. She had one mission: watch the human and prepare to kill him. But she didn't know that the man waiting at the embassy door with kind eyes and a soft smile was the same human who once ran into fire to save a life. His name was Eli Carter. And the moment their eyes met, something strange happened. Zalara's breath caught in her throat. Her hand gripped the doorframe. "And Eli?" He just smiled gently and said, "Are you all right?" Zalara stood quietly in the hallway of the human embassy, wearing her disguise. Her robes were plain brown. A translator patch was hidden behind her ear. Her long silver hair was tied back tightly. No one could tell she was the daughter of a high priestess. To them, she was just another servant, but her mind was not calm. The human, Eli Carter, had looked straight into her eyes the moment she entered. His voice had been soft, his tone gentle. "Are you all right?" he had asked. Solara had trained for years to lie, to hide emotion. But that one question had shaken her more than her mother's cold orders ever had. She replied with a short nod and kept her head down. But inside, her thoughts were spinning. Why did he ask that? Why did it sound like he actually cared? Over the next few days, Solara watched him closely. Eli Carter was nothing like the humans in the training vids. He didn't shout. He didn't give cruel commands. He didn't even carry a weapon. Instead, he moved through the embassy with calm steps. He helped the injured, spoke kindly to aliens of all species, and even repaired broken embassy equipment with his own hands. One day, she saw him crouched near a damaged wall screen. Sparks flew out as he fixed the wires. "You should not do that yourself," Solara said without thinking. Eli looked up, surprised. "Ah, you noticed." He smiled. "It's cheaper than calling in tech support," Solara blinked. "But that's not a leader's job." Eli stood up, wiped his hands and shrugged. "Then maybe I'm not a very good leader." For a moment, silence stretched between them. Solara stared at him. "You are different." Eli tilted his head. "Different from what?" She quickly turned away. Never mind. That night she returned to her small guest room. She sat on the bed staring at the empty wall. She remembered her training. Humans lie. Humans destroy. Humans enslave. But Eli Carter hadn't done any of that. He laughed with the alien children that visited the embassy. He fed the stray beastlings outside the gates. He even fixed an old alien elder's broken chair during a speech, just so the old man wouldn't fall. Solara's fingers clenched her robe. Is this all an act, she wondered? Is he tricking everyone? Or am I the one who was tricked? One morning, something unexpected happened. An injured alien girl, barely 10 years old, was brought to the embassy doors. She had fallen from a high ledge in the lower city and was bleeding badly. The guards refused to help. "Not our problem," they said. But before Solara could even think of moving, Eli was already there. He pushed past the guards, lifted the child carefully into his arms and rushed her inside. Solara followed. Her heart beat faster. She watched as Eli placed the child on a table and started cleaning her wounds. His hands moved fast but gentle. His brow was tight with worry. Solara stepped closer. "You are not a healer." "No," Eli said, not looking. "But I can't just watch someone die." Solara felt something in her chest. A strange pull. It hurt, but in a soft way. Later, after the girl was resting, Solara stood on the embassy balcony. Eli came and stood beside her. "She'll be all right," he said quietly. Solara nodded. "You risked yourself." "Maybe," he said. "But that's just what I do." There was silence for a moment. Then Solara turned to him. "Do you always help others like this?" Eli looked at her seriously. "Not everyone deserves kindness, but I still try." Solara opened her mouth but stopped. The words she wanted to say were dangerous. Her mission was to kill this man. But how could she kill someone who saved strangers without asking their name? That night she contacted her mother using the secure whisper crystal. "He is hard to understand," Solara said. Her mother's voice was sharp. "Do not get soft." "I'm only observing," Solara lied. "Good," the priestess replied. "Soon you'll receive the final order." The crystal went dark. Solara sat in silence, and for the first time in her life, she hoped the final order would never come. Solara stood in the middle of the great hall of the embassy. The lights were dim. Her hands were steady, but her heart wasn't. Inside her robe, hidden in a cloth pouch, was a vial, thin, dark liquid, poison. Her mother's voice echoed in her head. "You must prove your loyalty. Use the poison. End him." Today, Eli Carter was going to give a speech. It was a peace celebration. 50 years since the first contact between Varnaxa and Earth. Ambassadors, nobles, and soldiers from both sides were coming. The air was full of fake smiles and real danger. Zalara had been told exactly what to do. Drop the poison in his water before he steps on stage. He would drink it. He would collapse. The humans would think it was a heart failure. Quiet. Clean. No one would know. She moved through the hallway like a shadow, but every step felt heavy. She remembered how Eli held the injured child, how he smiled at a tired worker, how he knelt to fix a broken food dispenser just yesterday. He wasn't a warlord, he wasn't cruel, but she had orders. And if she disobeyed, her mother would send others. Backstage, Eli was adjusting his collar when he saw Zalara. "You all right?" he asked again, like he always did. Zalara forced a nod. "Yes, Ambassador. You can call me Eli." He smiled. She placed the glass of water on the table next to him. Her fingers brushed the rim. The vial was already opened. Just one drop, and it's done. She hesitated. "Thanks," Eli said, reaching for the glass. But before he could lift it, boom! A blast rocked the building. Screams followed. Guards shouted. Smoke filled the hall. Someone had set off an explosion near the guest entrance. Zalara's ears rang. She dropped to one knee. Flames flickered in the corner of her eyes. And then, through the chaos, she saw Eli, running. Not away, but toward the fire. Zalara chased after him. The hallway was full of smoke. Metal had melted into the walls. People were coughing, crawling, shouting. An alien girl was trapped beneath a broken pillar. Eli pushed through rubble. He bent low, grabbed the edge of the fallen beam, and with a cry of pain, lifted it. His arms shook, but he didn't stop. Zalara jumped in and pulled the girl out. The ceiling groaned. A second blast knocked Eli off his feet. His head hit the floor. Zalara screamed, "Eli!" Hours later, inside the embassy infirmary, he lay on a medical bed. His head was wrapped. One arm in a brace, bruised, pale, quiet. Zalara sat beside him. The poison vial was still in her pocket. She stared at it. Her fingers trembled. She had tried to kill him. But he had saved others. Again. And now, she might never get another chance. But she didn't want to. She had already failed the mission. The poison was never used. Her loyalty to her mother was broken, and her feelings were no longer hidden. Eli opened his eyes slowly. "You stayed?" he whispered. Zalara nodded. "You didn't run?" "I couldn't." He smiled faintly. "Glad you're still here." Zalara looked at his hand. It was burned but warm. She didn't know what to say. Then Eli whispered, "You're not just a servant, are you?" Her heart froze. "I've known for some time," he continued softly. "You don't walk like a worker. You watch too closely. You flinch when I mention the priesthood." Zalara stared at him, stunned. Then, "Why did you never stop me?" "Because," Eli said, "you never tried to hurt me." That night she burned the poison vial. She walked out to the garden, dug a small hole under a glowing tree, and poured the liquid into the soil. It sizzled. A tiny green plant nearby withered and died. She stared at it. That could have been him, but now the danger wasn't over. If the poison didn't kill him, her mother would send assassins, and this time they wouldn't hesitate. She stood under the stars, heart pounding. For the first time, she wasn't afraid of death. She was afraid of losing him. Zalara stood under the embassy's nightlight garden, staring at the stars, but her mind was lost in shadows. The poison was gone. Her chance to follow her mother's orders had passed, but her heart didn't feel shame. It felt something else. Warmth. Fear. Something close to love. She had watched Eli Carter risk his life again and again. He had no reason to help aliens, no orders forcing him, yet he always did. And now she knew her mother would not stay silent. That night, Solara felt it. A faint pulse through her whisper crystal, hidden deep inside her belt. She pulled it out, carefully, and activated it. The glowing stone lit up, revealing the cold, sharp face of her mother. "Why has the human not died?" Marvella asked. Solara hesitated. "There was an attack. The timing was not right." "Lies." The voice turned colder. "I felt it. You lost your nerve." Solara looked away. "Then you leave me no choice," Marvella said. "Others are coming. They are already within your walls." Solara's eyes widened. "Assassins?" "Yes," her mother hissed. "They will finish what you could not. If you interfere, they will not spare you." The connection ended. Solara's hand trembled. She stared at the fading light of the crystal. They were already inside. Solara ran. Through quiet corridors and moonlit halls, she searched for Eli. He was in his recovery chamber, surrounded by machines and soft humming lights. He looked peaceful, half asleep. She didn't want to wake him. But there was no time. She stepped inside. "Eli." He opened his eyes slowly. "You look pale." "We have to leave," she said. "Now." "Why?" "There are assassins, sent by the order." Eli tried to sit up. "You mean your people?" Solara looked down. "Yes, my mother." His face didn't show anger, just sadness. "You're not like them," he said softly. She nodded, her voice small. "Not anymore." They moved fast. Solara led him through the servant tunnels, hidden beneath the embassy. Old, narrow, and dusty, but safe. For now, they heard a scream above them, then another. The assassins had started. Solara felt the weight of guilt press down. "They will kill everyone to get to you." Eli stopped her in the tunnel. "Then let's stop running." Solara stared at him. "What?" "If they want me," he said, "then let them come. But I won't leave others to die in my place. And I won't leave you behind either." Solara wanted to argue, but her heart wouldn't let her. They reached the old vault room. It was built during the early days of the embassy, strong, sealed, forgotten by many. Solara closed the doors behind them and locked the steel bolts. "We'll be safe here for a while," she said. Eli sat down with a soft sigh. "How long until sunrise?" 5 hours. They sat in silence. Solara looked at him. "You should hate me." He raised an eyebrow. "Why?" "I was sent to kill you." "I know." "You knew?" He nodded. "Not right away, but I'm a diplomat. I notice things, the way you watched me, the way you tensed when I smiled." Solara's face turned red. "I'm sorry." Eli smiled gently. "I'm not, because if you hadn't been sent, we'd never have met." Her chest tightened. He reached for her hand. For the first time in her life, she didn't pull away, but peace never lasts long. From above, they heard metal creak. A thud echoed. Then another. The assassins had found the old tunnels. Solara stood, drawing her hidden blade. "They're coming." Eli grabbed a pipe from the wall. "Then we fight." She turned to him, surprised. "You're not a soldier." "No," he said, standing beside her, "but I'm tired of running." In the flickering light, the two stood together, alien and human, traitor and target, and yet, not alone. The air inside the vault had grown colder. Dust floated in beams of pale emergency light. Solara could hear it, the soft clink of boots above, the quiet slide of metal against metal. The assassins were near. She stood still, blade in hand. Every nerve in her body was awake. She had trained to be like them once, silent, quick, deadly. But tonight, she was their enemy. Eli stood beside her, holding a heavy pipe, jaw tight. He wasn't trained. He wasn't fast. But he was ready. A soft crack echoed. Then silence. Then, boom, the vault door shook. "They've found us," Solara said. There was no more time. Solara grabbed Eli's wrist and pulled him toward a corner panel. With a hiss, it opened, revealing a narrow crawl tunnel. "This way," she whispered. "Where does it go?" "Out." "Maybe." "That's not very comforting," Eli muttered. But he followed her in. The tunnel was tight, dark, and damp. They crawled on elbows and knees. Behind them, the vault door groaned again. Then metal tore. Solara pushed faster. "Don't stop," she said, "even if you hear them behind us." "I wasn't planning to," Eli replied, breathing hard. After what felt like forever, they dropped out into a utility chamber under the embassy gardens. Water dripped from pipes. The air smelled like rust. Solara helped Eli stand. He was limping, his earlier injury from the bombing still slowing him down. "Lean on me," she said. "You're half my size." "And twice as strong," she replied. He smiled, despite the pain. Then, movement. 3 shadows appeared at the chamber's far end. Dressed in the black robes of the Order, their eyes glowing faintly red in the dark, the assassins had followed. Solara didn't wait. She turned and pushed. Open a grate leading outside. "Go!" Eli climbed through, grunting as he crawled. Solara followed, slicing at a thrown dagger with her blade. Sparks flew. The moment they were outside, she sealed the grate behind them with a blast from her energy ring. It wouldn't hold, forever, but maybe just long enough. They ran. Through the embassy gardens, past broken trees and shattered light posts. The sky above was beginning to turn gray. Sunrise was near. Solara's lungs burned. They ducked into a storage hangar. Inside were old cargo skiffs and transport bikes. Most didn't work, but just one, lit up with a soft beep when Solara touched the panel. "Get on," she said. Eli climbed behind her, arms around her waist. The engine hummed to life. As they shot out of the hangar, the sky exploded behind them. One of the assassins had launched a tracker drone. The bike swerved hard. Solara gritted her teeth and pushed the throttle. "We can't outrun them forever," Eli shouted over the wind. "We just need to reach the outer ridge," she yelled back. "There's an old resistance tunnel there. They won't follow us underground." But halfway up the rocky path, the drone struck. It hit the back of the skiff, throwing them both off. Eli tumbled hard, rolling down the slope. Solara crashed into a metal signpost, her blade flying from her hand. She gasped, tried to stand, and saw one assassin walking slowly toward Eli. Eli couldn't move. The assassin raised his blade. Solara screamed. "No!" She ran. No weapon, no plan, just her bare hands. The assassin struck, but Solara jumped, grabbed his arm, and twisted. The blade missed Eli's throat by inches. The assassin spun, ready to stab her, but Solara's fist met his face. He stumbled. She grabbed a rock and slammed it into his mask. The mask cracked. She hit again, and again, until he dropped. Until the breathing stopped. She collapsed beside Eli, panting. Blood on her hands. Her eyes burned. "You okay?" she whispered. He looked up at her, dazed. "I should be asking you that." She didn't answer. Instead, she leaned down and hugged him. A real hug. Not to protect him, not to move him, just to hold him. Eli slowly wrapped his arms around her. For a moment, they didn't speak. They just breathed together, under the soft, rising light of dawn. "I almost lost you," she whispered. "You didn't," he said. "I'm still here. Because of you." Solara pulled back, eyes full of pain. "My people will never stop, and your people will soon know I'm not one of you." "I don't care. I'm scared." "I'm not," Eli said. "Not with you here." Solara looked toward the ridge. They still had a long way to go. But they had crossed something far more dangerous than enemy lines. They had crossed into each other's hearts. The great arena of Varnaxa was silent. Tens of thousands of eyes watched from high seats and tall towers. Even the skies had been cleared. No ships, no noise. Only the beating sun and the platform at the center, where Solara now stood. Her wrists were bound in silver chains. Her back was straight, but her eyes, once full of fire, were full of storm. Beside her, on his knees, was Eli Carter, bruised, chained, and silent. His shirt was torn, his hands were bloodied, yet his eyes still searched for Zalara's, calm and full of trust. Above them stood Priestess Marvella, her voice ringing through every speaker in the city. "Let the galaxy see the price of betrayal," she declared. She raised a golden blade high above her head. "One is a liar who turned her back on her own kind. The other, a deceiver who seduced her loyalty." The crowd murmured. Some aliens cheered, others stayed quiet. Cameras hovered in the air, live streaming the judgment across stars. Zalara felt the weight of every gaze, but none of it mattered. Only one thing mattered now. Eli must live. Her mother turned to her. "You were given a chance to cleanse your blood with a sacred kill. You failed. Now, earn forgiveness by finishing it in front of your people." The guards released Zalara's hands and placed a short ceremonial dagger into her palm. She stared at it. It was light, cold, sharp enough to pierce a human heart in one strike. "Do it," Marvella said, "or you die with him." Zalara stepped forward slowly. She looked down at Eli. He met her eyes, and he smiled. "Even here, even now." She whispered, "You're not afraid?" He nodded. "I'm only afraid you'll break your own heart." Her fingers trembled. The dagger hovered near his chest. The crowd leaned forward. Then, Zalara turned. With one swift motion, she dropped the dagger to the ground. The sound echoed like thunder. Gasps erupted. Zalara raised her voice, stronger than ever before. "No more lies. No more killing. I see now what you never wanted me to see." She turned to the crowd. "You told us humans were monsters, but this man, this human, saved strangers, protected enemies, and showed me love when I had nothing but orders to kill." A guard moved toward her. She kicked him down. "I will not kill the only man who made me feel alive." Her mother's voice cracked. "Then you are no daughter of mine." Marvella charged forward, blade in hand. Zalara blocked the strike with her chained wrists, spun behind her, and grabbed her mother's own blade. The two circled, mother and daughter, steel clashing under a sky that watched in silence. Blood spilled. But not Eli's. Not today. Finally, Zalara stood over her mother, blade at her throat, but she didn't kill her. Instead, she looked up. "I will not be what you tried to make me." She dropped the blade again and walked back to Eli. The crowd did not cheer. They did not scream. They were silent, because they had just seen something more powerful than a battle. They had seen a choice, and it shook them. Eli reached out his hand. Zalara took it, and together, under the burning twin suns, they stood as equals, not as enemies. Not as captor and target, but as two souls, finally free. Far above, in the royal sky tower, the High Council watched. One elder leaned forward. "She has committed treason," another spoke. "No, she has revealed the truth." Oh, single choice, a single refusal to kill, and a whole planet began to doubt its own hate. 1 week had passed since the arena fell silent. The platform where Zalara had dropped the blade was now covered in flowers. Some called her a traitor. Others whispered the word hope, but no one could deny. Everything had changed. Zalara stood at the edge of the high cliffs overlooking the ancient sea of Varnaxa. Below her, blue waves crashed into black rocks. Wind carried the scent of salt and memory. Eli stood beside her, one arm still healing in a sling, but eyes clear and steady. "They rebuilt the embassy," he said softly. "They say it'll open again tomorrow." Zalara nodded. "But this time the guards won't carry weapons." He smiled. "Progress." She didn't reply right away. Her thoughts were full. "The people still stare," she said. "Still wonder if I belong to them or to you." Eli looked out at the sea. "You don't belong to anyone, not even me." She turned to him, eyes deep. "Then what am I to you?" Eli didn't answer with words. Instead, he reached into his coat and pulled out something small, a delicate chain, and at the end of it, a ring. Simple, smooth, made from melted steel of the very dagger she had dropped. Zalara stared at it, frozen. "Don't want to own you," he said. "I only want to stand beside you if you'll let me." She took the ring. Her fingers shook, and for the first time since her childhood, Zalara cried, not in pain, but in peace. That night, the stars above Varnaxa burned brighter than ever. At the center of the capital, a new flame was lit, a peace flame, a symbol of unity between humans and the alien people of the Red Moon. Zalara and Eli stood hand in hand as diplomats, citizens, and even former soldiers gathered without weapons. On stage, the High Council declared an end to the ban on human travel. The room erupted in soft applause, not loud but real. Some elders protested, some citizens left in anger, but many stayed, and for the first time, they listened. Later, Zalara visited the prison chamber beneath the old temple. Her mother, Priestess Marvella, sat alone, chained, silent, her robes dull and torn. Zalara stepped forward. They stared at each other. No words at first. Then Marvella asked, "Why did you come?" Zalara answered gently, "To tell you. I still love you." Marvella looked away, her voice bitter. "Even after I tried to kill him?" "Yes," Zalara said, "because you're the one who taught me to be strong. And yet you chose him. I chose what was right." Zalara turned to leave, but then Marvella said something soft. "Was he worth it?" Zalara paused. She smiled. He was worth everything. Months passed. The galaxy began to whisper of a strange love story that ended a silent war. Other planets sent messages, some angry, some curious. A few offered alliance. And on a quiet morning inside a garden of new blossoms, Zalara and Eli stood beneath the tree that once shaded their escape. She wore silver, soft and flowing. He wore dark blue, formal yet simple, and, in front of a small crowd of humans and aliens, they vowed to walk the stars together. No titles, no chains, just two hearts. Once born on different worlds, now beating as one. That evening, as the twin suns vanished into golden clouds, Eli looked at his wife. "You once said you were trained to hate me," he whispered. She smiled and leaned her head on his shoulder. "And you made me unlearn everything." Across the stars, children would one day read their story in history books, not as a tale of battle, but as the day when an alien warrior refused to strike, and instead reached out her hand to the human she once swore to destroy.